Everybody, here's the latest news about the fourth stimulus check that you have to know. With just over a week left in October, the chances of a fourth stimulus checks are very close. While there's a chance a Democratic-led reconciliation bill could be passed this month, in its current form it is not included forthright. Objections from the more conservative Democrats like Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, those leading the legislative process would risk losing their support by including additional stimulus check. Shortly after the crisis took hold in March 2020, a massive wave prompted the government to pass the CARES Act.
Child care and care in the care economy ever in history, and that there will be programs put in place that have not existed in the past. Hopefully we will know more soon what the final package looks like, but I just wanted to outline some of the key components that there's continued discussion about.
You didn't mention Medicare expansion and that. Is that intentional? Like, why not?
It was not intentional. I was trying to give a couple of examples because sometimes we miss the historic comparison here on what we're talking about and what kind of a dramatic impact this package will have on families across the country and what it's tracking to be. There are still final pieces that need to be concluded, and I can't give you a final fact sheet quite yet, but that's what I wanted to lay out for all of you.
I am mystified by Senator Sinema. I have never seen Senate behavior like this, certainly on the Democratic side. I have no idea what she thinks about anything. You know her. You have supported her. Do you understand why the senator is going off in directions that are different from what you thought she would do when she was a candidate?
Well, thank you very much for having me. No, I don't understand where she's coming from or what her plan is.
And what brought you to the point where you in effect have, it sounds like, given up on her? Have you given up on her?
No, I'm hoping with all this events that we can come back together because I really want to support her for re-election, but she has to keep her promises that she made to us for me to feel comfortable doing that.
What was her reaction to you sending this letter to her, basically resigning from this advisory group?
I got a very cordial voicemail from her. She was very polite and she thanked me for my service, and that was about it. That was one of the few, only the second personal interaction I've had with her.
And what happened to your access to her after she won, after she became a senator, compared to when she needed you for the...
It was very perfunctory and performative. It was always, we felt like we were being used as props.
Terry McAuliffe, who of course is on the ballot running in Virginia, is saying that $3.5 trillion is simply too big. It's going to hurt Democrats, and he thinks it might even hurt him in his own race in Virginia.
Well, Terry McAuliffe, I wish Terry McAuliffe the best of luck. I hope he becomes the governor of Virginia again. But let him focus on Virginia issues. Some of us got to deal with the national issues. And what I am telling you, ask the American people whether or not we should have Medicare negotiating prescription drug prices. Ask them. Ask whether or not we should expand home health care, whether we should make community colleges tuition-free, whether or not we should deal with climate. And when we do all of those things, by the way, we create millions of good-paying jobs. What we are fighting for is precisely what the American people want, and that's what we've got to do.
Okay, we're just about out of time. Bottom line, if Manchin and Sinema don't come up, don't do what you are suggesting, what most of the Democrats or almost all of the other Democrats want, does that mean we get nothing? No infrastructure bill?
No.
Nothing?
No, at the end of the day, I am absolutely convinced we're going to have a strong infrastructure bill, and we're going to have a consequential reconciliation bill which addresses the needs of the American people.
All right, Senator Sanders, thank you for joining us.
The CARES Act included funding for a $1,200 stimulus check. and large checks were sent to families. The CARES Act also established 2 federal unemployment programs. These programs allowed the federal government to provide those who found themselves without work. As a result of the crisis, extra weeks of coverage came as many states have implemented caps. The Unemployment Assistance Program also allowed for the spending of a $600 topper to be sent in addition to state benefits. That comes as some leaders worried that the state level benefits would not be enough to sustain families over a long period of time. In addition to the $1,200, these more generous unemployment benefits helped keep many households from falling into poverty. From March to April 2020, the unemployment rate in the U.S. jumped from 4.4% to 14.8%. These levels were historic, both in the speed at which jobs were lost and how many in total were eliminated from the labor markets. So to make good on this campaign promise, President Biden and Democrats in Congress passed the American Rescue Plan in March 2021, which included the third stimulus check worth $1,400. A significant and permanent increase in the levels of food stamp assistance is now available to needy families, the largest single increase in the program's history. The increase to what is officially known as SNAP was announced in August and took effect this month. The New York Times reported that the additional assistance is available to all 42 million SNAP beneficiaries. Benefits are awarded on a sliding scale, and a new maximum will rise to $835 a month for a family of 4, an increase of 21%. The average benefit will rise 27% from the pre-crisis levels, adjusted for inflation. The aid boost being packaged as a major revision of the USDA's Thrifty Food Plan, which was first issued in 1975. The increase is a part of Biden's administration in his effort to strengthen the country's social safety net. Poverty and food security activists maintained that long-standing inadequacies in that safety net were laid bare by the crisis.
I want to begin with Senator Sinema because President Biden, in his town hall discussion tonight, seemed to indicate that there was no movement that he was aware of or prepared to talk about on tax revenues from Senator Sinema. Now we have this Politico reporting, which indicates there is some possibility of Senator Sinema being willing to agree to an amount of revenue through various devices that might not involve individual tax rates, might involve other things. But that seems, if true, to be a way to get there and to get there.
Yeah, I think Kristen Sinema has really hurt herself by not talking about what she's for. I understand that she believes very strongly that negotiations should occur in private and that she will fully explain her vote when she makes her vote, and it will become apparent what she worked for and what she cares about. But in the interim, the vacuum is being filled by a lot of anger towards her. I've been on the phone all day, Lawrence, as you might imagine, with a bunch of different senators in my party. I am confident that the Politico reporting is correct, that she has in fact agreed to a number of revenue enhancers in various